What is going on, guys? We are back with another video, and today we are doing another what if. Of course, we do these every so often, and we're taking a little bit of I almost said Jamal Charles, a Tony Romo route today. Of course, you don't see Tony anywhere because, of course, love those words, you know, that phrase. We need to see how well the team would do without him. And obviously, well, not obviously, you guys might not know, but it's going to be a two-team what if. Because I'm not confident that Tony Romo would only go to the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos are a prime set because they're already good. We already know what, Peyton Manning, he had success coming there late in his career. It's kind of where, as the people say, you go to the Browns for your career to die. You go to the Broncos for your career to have another stilt, as I would like to say. And, of course, the Broncos are a really good roster, but more importantly, let's see how well they do without Tony Romo. And I debated on what team or teams we should do other than the Broncos. And I really only settled on the Dolphins just because of Tannehill being injured. And they got a little bit desperate. I mean, they have Cutler. I know there's familiarity between him and the head coach. But I would assume the Dolphins would still consider Tony Romo more, well, with injury issues, Tony Romo a little bit more of a commodity than Cutler. I know the fans would. I had the Texans before, but of course now they have Watson. Don't know if they would want to spend that kind of money. They already spent money on a guy like Brock Osweiler, and I'm just gonna do Broncos Dolphins here. Let me know in the comment section, who do you think he would go to, or who do you think would be the best choice, or just in general, who would you want him to go to? Obviously, he's loving it in that booth, and he was actually pretty solid. And I didn't realize, but goddamn, Tony Romo has one hell of a damn voice. That man is like an angel out there in the broadcasting world. These announcers better watch the hell out because he is a top talent. I mean, when I heard Not the Expert announcing that Tony Romo announcing that Raiders, that's my face right now. Yeah, boy. That guy trapped in a different era. His pitcher, I don't know what they did. Trevor Siemian, his injury went down. I mean, injuries are off, but he still went down. Of course, we could see here, Broncos do not make the playoffs, and we have a really good team here, so I'm thinking Tony Romo can bring us from a 7-9 team to a not 7-9 team. Trevor Siemian, not terrible, and speaking of not terrible, he wasn't terrible in real life. I didn't watch the rest of the game, so he could have just crapped the bed. I mean, I know the Chargers made a bit of a late push, so maybe he did actually crap the bed, and I just didn't know. Von Miller ruining my life, didn't get that sack that I wanted him to get. Brandon Marshall actually did really well with picks, 7 of them. Maybe even best linebacker. Not that it really matters. I'm not even going to worry about the awards. 21st in offense. Defense, 24th. 24th on defense. Denver attacking 3-4. I mean, that's all correct. So, I have no idea. Normally, I would take a look at the... I guess we'll take a look at the Super Bowl. God damn it, guys. You always ruin my damn life. Sim to the Super Bowl, and then we got to advance a week. I don't know if going to the offseason would actually show us the Super Bowl. I just don't want to risk it because sometimes the results don't show up. It'll be like Bears versus Bears, undefined result. I don't know. So the Falcons win it all against the Raiders, 17-7. I wouldn't be mad with that result at all. Like that being the Super Bowl would not make me mad in the slightest. I would actually be pretty happy with that. I just want to see new faces or the Packers. Like, simply put, Packers or new faces. Or Packers with new faces. If the Packers are going against a team that's never won it before, cool, Like, there's no losing when you lose to a team that's never won it before. Because it's like, sometimes something's got to give, surely. So you're tied in with their history, I suppose. Unless they were a terrible roster, then, maybe that sucks. But, I wouldn't be mad losing to a team that's never won one. I would be mad losing to, like, the Patriots, though, because everyone would hate you. Like, oh, there they go, the Packers, the latest team to make Tom Brady better. So here we are. I'm sorry I made Tony Romo look kind of like a school shooter. Where is Tony? Tony? There's my Romo. He's not an 89. I made him a 86. No, I made him an 87 because Dak is an 86. And I was like, if Dak's an 86, clearly Tony Romo is an 87 or above. But apparently, because of our needs, Tony Romo is an 89 overall. He was an 88 on the Dolphins. He's an 89 here. He's probably a 99 on like the Browns. But these are, I mean, we already seen the stats. Normal dev. I'm going to give him quick dev. I'm going to give Tony the benefit of the doubt because I think he was actually a really good quarterback. It's just injuries, man. Too many damn injuries. I remember when he almost, speaking of the Broncos, almost broke the passing yards in a game record, but he choked it, ironically. I believe Tony Romo is 37 years old. I think, did I forget to change his weight? I think I definitely did. I really don't care, though. 230 is not that big of a deal. Birds, get the hell out of my video. Going against the Cowboys, interesting. But, of course, we know what the Broncos did without Tony. 7-9, like 21st in offense, 24th in defense. Surely we're going to see a little bit of a better result from Tony. So we have practice squad signings, which means we missed the playoffs. And with that being said, there's a plane going by. Nothing can go right today. 9-7, 9-7, 9-7, 8-8. We dropped to the bottom of the division, but we do get that extra win. I guess the real question is, how is the quarterback play? Because at the end of the day, if Tony was a lot better than Trevor, which he definitely was, I don't remember the yard totals. I think Trevor was around 3,900. 29 touchdowns he was with 15 picks. Tony Romo, that's 4,700 yards, 38 touchdowns, 8 picks. Not really sure where this team went wrong. Their defense is pretty damn good. Carlos Henderson. Really now? That's interesting. I mean, we even had a rookie that went off. I don't really know. Maybe it's just the offensive line. Defense didn't look as good as the other defense, and John Miller was just absolutely trash. He was just complete trash. Let's see the stats, though. Offensive moves from 21 to number 6. And as we know, even though EA Sim is stupid, 13th defense, even though EA Sim is stupid, we know if the Broncos can get to number 6 in offense, they are going to be an absolute I don't know why I'm going to call them a thought. An absolute force and probably undefeated. Or if not, maybe not undefeated, but very, very hard to beat. Potential Super Bowl contenders, I would say, pretty easily. We all know the defense is what carries the team. And number 6, that's not really carrying. That's, oh my God. Holy Jesus. That's not carrying. That ain't no carrying. That's team effort. Super Bowl champions. 59-17 against the Chargers. Phillip Rivers threw 3 picks. Russell Wilson, fine. Thomas Rawls, okay. Rushing, really not a big deal there, but I mean, the defense had to take over, right? Maybe a couple of pick sixes or something. See a couple of picks here. Any touchdowns? I don't see a touchdown. So offense just scoring at will. 59-17. Holy shite. That is a walloping. The Seahawks will be known as one of the scariest playoff teams ever, just for the fact that they put up some totals there in the Super Bowl. But of course, got to change the roster. Go on to the Dolphins now, see if they can get some different results. Of course, we've seen Tony Romo, clearly a beast. Clearly a beast. Without a doubt, a huge upgrade for the Broncos. Only 1 win, but that had nothing to do with Tony. You've seen the increase in production for the team. I mean, overall, 6 offense, 13 defense, and we still went 8-8. It's just simulation anomaly. So Jay Smugface Cutler over here. I don't think Tony would ever come to the Dolphins, but if the price was right, which, I mean, to be fair, Dolphins were a little bit desperate, and Cutler, he got a decent bit of money for a guy that was supposed to be retired. But with that offensive line, Tony Romo sure as hell would not want to come here. But you never know. You never know. I'm also trying to figure out right now why the Dolphins are actually somewhat decent in sim, because I mean, at least overall-wise, they're really not looking great. They had decent defense, I suppose, but, I mean, the linebacker core ain't even that good. Like, I don't know. It is what it is. We're going to see how they do. I don't expect them to win as many games as the Broncos roster, but it's Madden. We'll see what happens. Whereas we did not make the playoffs, I did not expect anything different. Goddamn, Ryan Tannehill snuck his way in. I guess, I mean, this is a... Wow. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Without Cutler in, or Romo, obviously. No, wait, this is weird. Tannehill... Oh, they must have just shifted him in. I was about to say, 84 overall Tannehill should have put up a little bit better numbers, but Jay Cutler... I mean, this is exactly what I expected Jay Cutler to do. And, I mean, not bad. It's just not great. But offense, not looking too hot. Receiving, not terrible. Offensive line, a lot better than I would have expected from this roster for sure. This offensive line is looking rough. Sacks, under 10 for each person by a bit. Rashad Jones with 5 picks. Great safety. Andrew Franks, 3 missed field goals. Not terrible. 13th offensive, which is actually not that bad. Defense, 15. So, I mean, 5-10-1 is a little harsh, I think, considering what we were 7-9 with our Denver Broncos roster that was 21st and 24th. Yards, I mean, to be fair, doesn't always mean everything because touchdowns are what matters. But it's still weird when the yards are that bad and yet you can't get points up. Or you get points up. While vice versa, other way around. The Eagles win against the Chargers. Alright, so this Madden universe is starting to get a little out of hand now. But we're going to move on to the very last quote-unquote experiment part with Tony Romo as a Miami Dolphin. Can he get them from 5-10-1 to a playoff team? Or does Tony Romo not matter enough to either team to where they're still missing pieces? Although, I'm going to say that was an EA Sim mistake. 8-8 with those potentials. Or not potentials, but those stats. And just performance is a little far-fetched, I think. So we are on the Dolphins. Adam Gase still looking like a pedophile that might murder someone's family. Not that I'm saying he would. He's a great guy, I'm assuming. Prison. Tony Romo looking all right here. Exactly the same as the Broncos, just for whatever reason, slightly less overall. All right, going to take a look at Tony Romo, and he made the playoffs. There we go. Definitive proof. From 5-10-1 to 11-4-1. If that isn't proof in a Patriots leading division, I don't know what is. Even though Tony Romo played just as poorly as Jay Cutler. Thank you, Tony, for ruining my life. I thought for a split second there we actually looked good. I mean, experiment succeeded. I don't know. I guess the offensive line did better. Tony Romo, with his elusiveness, was able to make it easier on the offense to get down the field. Exactly. That was the plan all along. 21st in offense. What I mean, 13th, 6th in defense. So basically, if we're going to be truthful and real to each other, yeah, the defense bailed us out, if we're going to be honest. I will say, though, for the, Tony Romo, Offensive Rookie of the Year. But for the Broncos, Tony Romo, that one 100% proved Tony Romo increases the team's value by a lot. I mean, they did so much better. It's just they didn't get the win, They just didn't get the win that they needed. We're going to go right to the offseason. If Tony Romo brings this team to a Super Bowl, it makes up for his regular season performance, which was, it wasn't bad. It's just, it wasn't great considering it was on par with, Jay Cutler, really, if we're being honest here. I believe we are not in the Super Bowl. To the offseason, actually, no, that would have been over already. We might have actually won. Let's take a look, though, just for the reveal. Wild card, we lost, okay. So who wins the Super Bowl here? Patriots versus Falcons. So, experiment over, but in Tony Romo-driven leagues, the Super Bowl results make a little more sense, for one. Two, Tony Romo clearly has increased, and he retired after 1 year, I believe. Wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he retires. God damn it, Tony. What the hell is wrong with you? I figured he would, but anyways, with Tony Romo leading the offense, the team does kind of better. I mean, the team did better here, but the offense didn't do as well. But for the Broncos, clear as day, Tony Romo was way better than Trevor Siemian. So let me know what you guys thought of this. If you have any other ideas for what-ifs or just experiments in general, let me know in the comment section. I believe someone gave me this idea. I mean, I already had, thoughts of Tony Romo stuff, but I did say fair and fair. If you give me an idea that I use, you will be in the video. You'll be in the beginning of it as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe if you may. I mean, I appreciate the support on the channel regardless. But hope you come back for the next video, which will be a rebuild a little bit later today of the Redskins. But until next video, see ya!